then you will be waiting for the next chance. You don't never know when, right? So that is one thing. Okay. How about you or your group?
Yes, my friend is surprised to know that my two friends is doing job in his country.
That's what a discovery, right? In a short time, in the last 1 minute, and then discover that he has two friends, right in Malaysia. And then they know each other? Did he know them?
No.
No, but you know that, okay. So are you going to make a trip to visit him?
Yes.
Now, what happens, right? The connection, the bonding. How about this group?
I asked to him, do you have girlfriend?
Do you have what?
Girlfriend?
Girlfriend. Whoa. And then he was shaky. Oh, okay. Uncomfortable, right? Okay. Suppose a secret, right? So did he say yes or no?
No.
No, okay. Then you say, I'm available. Right? Is that true? Should be open, right? Is that true? Okay. But it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you just, okay. So what do you ask him then?
I asked him what's his
Very
favorite
good.
food.
I said that dal porota.
I don't know about that.
Dal porota. In our country, dal porota is very popular.
What's that? I couldn't can. Huh? Tempo. Okay.
Yeah, dal porota.
No.
This is one kind of food.
Oh, one kind of fruit. Okay.
Bangladeshi fruit is very popular. It's some spice and some bread.
Uh-huh.
Pudding.
Okay. And then you know that?
Yeah, no.
You don't know. Okay. So you got so well, I thought surprised, right? Okay. So something that we will learn together when we ask difficult questions. What do you ask him?
Okay, we have one question in common because we are the same pastor. We are a pastor. He's a pastor, and we also. So our question is, what is the difficult experience as a pastor?
Oh, so what do you share? They want to learn. For sure they want to know, right? Do you? Yeah.
And of course, his answer is dealing problems with the church.
Dealing problem within the church.
Different characters. Different
Yes.
So, as a pastor, that is a very difficult experience.
They both knock on their head. That's why I continue to learn, right? Yes. So that means, if we describe church should be here or here? Tell me. One circle. One more, even beyond the difficult, right? The outermost. It's somewhere there, right? Oh, I like that. I discovered, right? But most of the people, most of the member think the church are here. Is that true? So that's why what happened? They off guard. They don't think. They think whatever I say, whatever I do, just like going to the family, I want to take out my shoe, put anywhere, right? And then let somebody take care, right? Going home and then I can yell to my parents, right? And then I can do whatever, because this is where? Comfort zone. But actually, is that true? When you know somebody more, what happened? When you learn about someone more, then what happened? You started to picky. You start to, pointing out the faults more than the right. And then especially you're going to attend the Sunday school more. You are more critical, right? They teach you what's right and what's wrong, right? If you don't pray before you're eating, you are wrong, right? That's how you're teaching, right? Is that true? Is that true? If you are not going to the church on Sunday before 11 o'clock, before the service starts, you are wrong. Is that true? What happened? and then as soon as the comfort place, a family of church, a family of God, or a family of you, what happened? Everyone beside you becomes so critical. What they learn is for the sake of criticism, not for the sake of comforting, not for the sake of community, not for the sake of what? Collaboration. Is that true? Instead of always conflict, always confront. See, those words are very common. That becomes, so when the brother shared that, he wants to learn from here to something that to going home to help family, I give you one tip. If in your family, at least one member that you build close relationships start with, okay? At least one first. Don't try to save all. Try to say, hey, I want to please him, please him, please him, please him. I want to please the brother. I want to please father-in-law. I want to please. Do you get that? Then what happened? You have too many angles to go. And then you have to balance those relationships. It's difficult. But if you really focus on one first to build 2 on 2, and then I can tell you that the whole family dynamic change. Do you know why? 2 is better than 1. They see it. Because the family has a little dynamic. Every community, they have a dynamic. What? Dynamic is everybody look at something that around you change. They look for change. They don't look for something that's stable. Just stay there, okay? That's how community is. They're always looking for change. But the most difficult thing is the change. Right? See, knowledge. You can learn all you want. But what happened? Everything that you learn, you just keep it in the computer. If you are not start to think, right? Start to understand, what happened? All your paper, all your writing, all your sermon, what happened? Stuck just right there. That's just only knowledge, right? They have a little effective. I can just tell you that. There's so many books, okay, about internet. You can read it, learn it, the principle. But if you don't think how to do it and then put into the action, the change will never happen. This is a new book. Just published 2004, okay? And then this guy talk about the social, this is, social psychology. Talking about what is the generations are coming. Start from the 2000 all the way. They have their family now. They have their children. They all grow up, what happened is going to the restaurant. They cry and then an iPad. Okay? When she used to be going to the restaurant, they carry a bag and the inside is a book, right? Now they carry a iPad, right? And then if they don't carry an iPad, they just ship a iPhone or phone, right? And then they just look at and then the noodle just right here. Right? Without that, then what happens? See, this is a generation that, we are facing. Then what you call family bonding. See, the family together is anxious, worried, right? Rushy, nothing else. And then also sleepless. Everybody look tired, right? Because what happened? Look at the screen more than look at the people. So I just save you for a little 1 week because at least human eye contact just happened. Do you get that? See, you can be in the Bible school for the whole time, for a whole week, then what? Without looking to each other, right? Is that true? That's so easy. Today you come to this class that I ask you if you can just practice what you teach, what you learn by doing one thing, holding someone's hand. Just tell him that, wait, give me 1 minute. I want to look at you. And then collect the data. to see what happened to the people that you hold hand and then look at it. Okay? Don't say a word. Okay? You don't have to say a word. Tell him that 这是抖音 TikTok. Okay? To see what happened. I can just tell you that. You will be stunning what you discover. Why? We are living in a generation, only two models in the family. One is protective, highly protective. So they are the most anxious people, most worried, because everything outside is dangerous. So I'm trying to protect. iPhone is dangerous, but they still use it. Okay, iPad will destroy the family, right? A cushion value I want to protect. So it's a protecting. So then what happens is to keep the kids, or keep the family member, or keep the members in the church. That's the most effective, most protective way, most promising way to hold your community. Wait a minute. Jesus never do that. Jesus never build protections. Do you get that? And only the protection is to pray out loud to the God, the Father, right? And then he go out. Come. I'm going. I go to the synagogue. I go to the street. I go to Sidon. I go into, do it right? Everywhere. Why? He's not using the protective way. He's using a discovery. God is not in the temple. Remember that. God is not in the comfort zone. He will never there. The light is always to shine the darkest place, the difficult place, right? To be the light of the world, the salt, you have to be here, not here. Okay? So for the pastor, you try to protect your congregation, then you are totally wrong. Sorry, you don't need to protect your sheep. He is the master. What do? Is you're leading your sheep go into the place to let them feel uncomfortable. Then they will depend on you. Do you get that? If you lead them, they follow. If you don't hush them, they will never do it. You give them all the training, give them all the teaching. You know what happened? Pastor, give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Same as a family. So in family, today's family, that they will never do easily to talk dependence, not interdependent. Right? The interdependent is talking about responsibility, using mind. See, whatever you do, you got to think about your consequence before you make decisions. Using the logic to change. Because when you're using logic, when you're using thinking, you are challenging them right away from here to here, to the difficult place. Because in this area is what you think that you want. This is what I felt I want. This is, I just want it. Do you get that? He doesn't need to think. He doesn't need to put your feelings. And then he just go to whatever he thinks, whatever he likes. That's not a bonding. A bonding has to be challenged. A bonding has to be, move out your comfort and then offer something that someone that, what happened in exchange. So do you know why I want you to put your left hand up? What that means? What does this mean? When you look at my left hand, that I want something, right? Is that true? Is that true? Yes. Right? When I get something, then what? That's my comfort, right? Is that true? Is that true? So if we were always keeping that gesture, pastor, all the members, just when you show up in the church, everybody, amen, amen, amen. What happened? Can you creating a community that's always wanted? Right? So find someone in your family that build a bonding. That in exchange, what happened? I give, he receive. And then he give, I receive. Then what? It's interchange. The bonding what? Right? So if they always like this, then what happened? Right? How can you supply all their needs? How can you provide all the emotion support? Can you? No. Everybody needs to be challenged. Everybody needs to take their responsibility. And then family is also. So guess how many wives I have? I'm from China. One. Then the next question. How many children do I have? Guess, more than one. That's a good answer. I mean, always. See, when I say how many changing, right? So, but that's not the correct answer yet. That's the correct, but it's not the right answer. So, guess.
In Bangladesh, there are the 4 wives. One man, 4 wives.
Okay.
It's legally or Sharia law.
Oh, so I'm legally have one wife. So now I have legally how many children? Guess. 2. 2. 3. That means what? No children? No wife? Woohoo! I wear my ring, okay. How many? 2. 2. 2 kids. Can you not talking about those numbers? Think about 3.
No one answered 4.
No one. So that's your answer?
No, I'm just thinking.
Just thinking. As many as, but I have to ask the permission of my wife, right? I wish, right? But no, the woman would not say yes. As many as I want. The last but not the least. 1. 4. Give me in my hand. I have 4. Yes, I really have 4. Okay, that's why I say 1 wife, 4 children. But which is in China, which is already over many people, right? Okay, so how you build bonding? When I get married with my wife, the first day told me that I don't want children. Up front, because she grew up in a very uncomfortable home. She has another 6 siblings. She's the youngest daughter, and then follow her with 2 brothers. Okay, and then family living in Hong Kong in the what they call the poor environment. Okay, so father is a construction worker, mother is a street vendor, which is in Hong Kong is the lowest, the lower. So and then try to raising 7 children. It's a good place to build comfort. And then a room is half the size, even smaller than this, for 9 people to grow. Every day crowded, and then in the daytime, everybody gone, then you have a space for kitchen. And then in the evening, the kitchen becomes the sleeping place. So that's how they grow. But you know what? In that cozy place, right? They are so close to each other. What happened? They fought every day. They argue every day. Wow, and you don't have to raise your voice. It's already what? It's noisy. So that's kind of impacted her. So when she say, yes, I will marry you. Yes, I'm going to be a minister's wife with you. But can we have no children? What do you think? They're scared about bonding. They're scared about building community. But I love children. Only God can change. So I look at her and say, wait until the time comes. Okay, wait until the time comes. Only God can change. I cannot, right? If you forcefully, try to do something, try to convince, try to argue, try to using Genesis, and do you get that? As a pastor, easy, right? Don't use any Bible words at the time, okay? When in a family conversation, that can be very dangerous because you are preaching on somebody. They don't like it. People don't like listen. Do you get that? People only like welcome, only like comfort. So when you two look at each other without words, actually this is a welcome that we want to build a relationship. So start with that, 2 on 2. So God God just gave me that, how we build my wife together. So do you know what happened? And then one day, she came to tell me that, yes, I think just only two of us is too lonely. And then I say, okay, that's a big change. It doesn't mean that the fear in her heart is gone. Okay? Wait until the children comes. So the first son, then the second son, and there's no more. Done. For your Chinese two sons, done. My duty is done. Woo! She just felt that, what she give birth of the two children is for the duty. It's not what they call love. I'm just a little shaky. So then we both try to raise our kids. But when we went to Venezuela, we are surrounded with the beauties. Venezuela, just like the Philippines, it's almost the same. And then, but you know what? In every Miss Universe, the competition, Venezuela wins. So we watched. Then one day, we felt it's the time to ask for more. So, but this time, I have two boys. So the three of us went to the mother. One is 7 years old. The other one is 5 years old. So we went to my wife and I asked, can we have a little baby sister? What do you think? She looked at us. Then she said, am I a factory? Am I a beauty factory? Then my 5 years old son said, no, God will provide. And then she has no word to say. If it comes out from my word, I'm in big trouble. So then I say, he said it. We pray. So then we pray. Then really we had a first girl in Venezuela called Trevina. Then my wife, deep inside her heart, and said, she doesn't like odd numbers. Get that? She doesn't like odd numbers. But how can you promise him for the second one, right? The fourth one. Then she prayed. We didn't ask for it, okay? It was an accident that she prayed. Then our family grew, and then we have 3 generations. So 2 sons born in the 80s. Then the 2 daughters born in the 90s. Different communication way, because the sons and the daughters are different. So we're just crazy, and then we thank the Lord. But what happened is, we believe that every community that you want to build a really comfort zone or safe zone with one person. It's the marriage, nothing else. If you build a strong marriage, your family is unshakable. And all your children, wherever they just even become a prodigal son, they will return. Why? Because you build your comfort zone, safe zone, too. Okay? Pastor and pastor's wife is more important than the member's family. If you build that strong, too, better than everybody, you will have a solid community right there. I taught Chinese students how to overcome social phobia. And then I told them that the only one thing, even 10,000 people, China's school is 2,000, 5,000. See, in the midst of the big school, you try to find, safe, try to find comfort. Sometimes it's difficult. So all I told them that is creating a 2-on-2. Find one person that you can really relate it to, spend time with, and care about it, and then find the common ground. Then what happened? The community of a so-called family started. And then with that, then you become the attraction for someone that needs it. Everywhere you go, we with that. So we went to Venezuela as a family. At the time, there were only less than a dozen Chinese Christians. So then we started a new community to form. Then by the 7 years that we left Venezuela, there were 7 churches was built in 6 cities. Because what happened is, men and women wants to learn how to build their family. They want to learn how to help their children. And then they want to creating a so-called church life, a community life in their city. That's how it happens. And then we thank the Lord for that. And then we have the experience just rushing out of Bible school and then rushing to Venezuela and then to practice what we learn. But what we discover is not your preaching to win the people. Really, it's not what you're teaching, sometimes attracting and then helping. It's the way you live it, how your family life live it, how you train your children. And then I become the expert how to give birth of a boy. If you want a son, I can teach you how to do it. Eat more vegetable. Do you get that? Okay. If you want a daughter, eat more meat. Yeah, and then get more sweet. Yeah, but if you want a boy, less sweet, more sour. Okay, that's just a little natural law. Okay, so now my younger son has 4 children. So I become a number 6 grandfather. So 1 boy, 3 girls. Okay, so I talked to my daughter-in-law. You really want a boy or girl? And it doesn't matter. Okay, then I'm not going to teach you. So, and then I asked my son, what do you want? So you have a boy, and then first a daughter, second daughter, the third one, but what do you want? Do you want to change your attire? And then he said, no, I'm not going to do it. So then I said, well, you wait for another daughter. Really, yes. That's how the community is. It's very interesting, right? But it's very lovely. And then I thank the Lord that, building community start from the one-on-one. For so many years, but when you landed, then you find out that you never speak English. You must speak language that with the person that speaks language. Just like I learned Tagalog and then never speak a Tagalog with a Filipino. Then suddenly come to Philippines, and then I try my Tagalog. Then what happened? You suddenly realize that you speak the wrong language because their face, everything, they in a totally different way. So that's just my life. And then after that, then I started school, and then from ABC, then later found Christ. Then changes whole my life's direction. So the day that I become a Christian, the next day I become a follower. I want to do a full-time ministry. So it was shock for so many people. I didn't know, okay? I didn't know that you are supposed to attending baptismal class. You're supposed to go to the church for a certain time, and then the proven that you can be a full-time minister. But I don't know that. So I made my decisions right in the moment, just like Paul I later discovered. So then I sing the song until now. I have decided, I sing the international song, right? To draw you to follow Jesus, right? But at the end, the song is said, no turning back. Well, it was just really a hook. But that's the culture that I didn't know, and then I went into. But there's a culture that I had before, which is called communist. So revolution, so follow. So it just, when you give your life completely, you go for it, right? So that just kind of then you have to move out your comfort zone, and then that becomes my lifestyle. Later on, I discovered. So then I finished my course, diploma, then I went to the Bible college. How many of you study in the Bible college? Okay. Ooh, welcome to the new world. Hopefully, I will challenging you that change your direction later on. Okay, I'm just kidding. So I went into without knowledge. It's just think that if you go for full time, you want to be a ministry, then you have to study Bible, right? Or biblical. So I went, finished my course, then I went back to my home church, and then my church had a mission conference. Then the mission conference called, who thou I send. Then my family, my wife, and then my two little children, well, my one little children, and then the other ones in the tummy, and then say, here we are, send us. So we didn't know what it mean by missionary, okay? We didn't know that this is concept. At that time, if we know that, we probably say, maybe later, let the kids get growing up a little bit, get older. So then I went, 1989, we went to Venezuela. Spent 7 years over there. That's my college. Will started college, okay? From listening to practice and then teaching. See, that's the paradigm shift. That's the best learning models right here. You practice, you teach. So not just to learn, put into your head knowledge, and then accumulating your book. Not just that. You need to right away practice and teach. That is the quickest way of learning. Okay, I learned that, and then I ran. So without knowing what you mean by church planting, without knowing the cross culture, all those terms that in a classroom, but when you go to Venezuela without language, everything started new. So I buy my chicken wings. So you have to jump like a chicken. Chicken wings. And then say a short vocabulary, por favor. Then you don't know how much. 然后就 cuando. So you using those little language. So and then I'm afraid that not giving enough. So I pull out the biggest bill. Give to. Then wherever change it, I just took it. I don't even know the number. I only know uno to diez. Other than that, nothing. So, when you move out of comfort zone, you need a lot of learning. But the most difficult place, you learn the fast. Because your whole continent, your whole body involved in the learning. Because you are fully alert. So welcome to this mission conference. Any mission conference is a new challenge for everybody. So you are in the right place. But at the same time, the most challenging thing is not just for the missionary itself, it's for the missionary family. How they live, how they involve with the ministry, how they involve with the people that you serve. Everybody is a stranger. To your children, to your family, to everything. But you have to grow with that to become. So the family bonding with the community is cohesive. It's aligned together. There's no way you can hide. So I will give you one of the examples that I did in Venezuela. When we go there, and I have to learn all this, everything, but not to depend on your congregation. You have to learn outside, and then there's only a small group of people that, when we went there, it's only a dozen of believers, Chinese. So then we started with them. But with them, then we started to build that community. And then later, we discovered that the community is mostly women. All our members become a follower of Christ are women. Then what happened? I'm almost the only one man in the whole church. Bonding. Right? And then you alone. What do? Okay, I give you lesson. 2 questions on that. Thinking, okay? Thinking. So now, let's do this, okay? Two strangers sit together. They need to know each other. Otherwise, their comfort will be lower. We're going down. And then when we talk about questions, then you. So now I give you a 2 minutes, okay? In this 2 minutes, no talking, only by your eyes communication, eye contact, okay? And then only a physical contact is your hand, okay? So put out your left hand upside to your partner. Show him your hand, and then look at his hand, okay? Show it to him, and yeah. Okay, you can go with, can you switch, because that's a classmate, then that way, okay, you said, can you come over here? I give you the place, yes. Then Ian is my coworker, so then he know the trick, so I don't want to. And then can you count the time for me, Ian? So 1 minute. In this 1 minute, can you guard it that, they cannot using words. They're only using eyes, okay? So show your left hand to your partner, okay? Look at that, and then what do you see, all right, okay? After that, then put your right hand on top of the left hand. Yes. Yes. No, on the other, yes. And then, that's right, hold his hand, or hold her hand. Hold it. Yeah, hold it. Yeah, yes, good. That means don't let him go, okay? Don't let your partner go, okay? Hold it tight. And then that's the distance, okay? 1 minute. In this 1 minute, can you communicate with your partner without words, but with your eyes? So that means you look at each other, don't escape. Just keep focus, okay? Pay attention on your partner, okay? To create that, communication comfortable eyesight, okay? 1. Are you started now? 1. Oh, I didn't say yes. Yeah, okay. Okay, now start, okay? Good practice, okay? 1, 2, 3. Time's up. That was 1 minute. What do you think that 1 minute? Long, short? For that 1 minute. What?
For eye to eye, it's long.
It's very long, right? Eye to eye is long, okay? Thank you. That's the honest answer, okay? What else do you discover for that 1 minute? I don't know what he's thinking, right? Because without word, what are you doing?
He's uncomfortable.
He feel uncomfortable. How you tell that?
Because he cannot look at me straight.
Yeah, and then when you look at a stranger, your eyes really can focus. Can you really holding a hand? Can you do that to a stranger? Can you do that? Oh, this too. Definitely, I know that they don't know each other because they try to look at, every angle, right? Yeah, they just try to escape, right? This is called uncomfortable. So you're right here. Do you get that? So if a family or if a community that you're looking in, go in there, you try to put your eyes looking outside, looking around, then what happens? You don't create that sense of comfort. Okay, do you get that? So you will be a minister. You will be a missionary. See, the first thing that you have to overcome is every place that you go, you feel comfortable. You are the one that dictating your environment, not the people. Do you get that? So you go in there, just looks like them. Okay? You go in there, that even though your language, you don't say a word, but you just look at them with a warm smile. I tell you what, people scare. Do you get that? Okay? When they scare, you're comfort. That's how it is. Okay? See, when Jesus look at the Pharisee, they're scared, right? He doesn't feel uncomfortable, right? And then when he goes to the synagogue, what happened? He looked at them. Then he picked the one that, with a wicked arm, right? And then let him feel comfortable because he paid attention. That's how that works. You're going to anywhere, and then you're going to, going to Jericho, right? Who's on the tree? Zacchaeus, right? Yeah, Zacchaeus. What happened? He feel comfortable or uncomfortable? He climbed the tree, right? Then Jesus looked at him. Then what? There's 1,000 people, right? But his eyes, what? Focus on him and then call him down. What happened? Eyes to eyes. I'm going to your home tonight. What happened? Right? He would not say, come down. Zacchaeus, tonight I'm going to your house. Go. Is that no, right? He looked at him. Is that true? So you just in that 1 minute, it looks long, okay? Very long. For some people, that feels forever, right? When are you going to end? And I especially ask Ian to call 30 seconds. Oh, there's another 30 seconds, see? Just waiting for the red light, right, to be gone. So when you're anxious, when you feel uncomfortable, the time is long. Family is the same. Community is the same. So if you want to serve in the mission field in the church longer, then pay more attention, eyes to eyes. Okay? Then you feel comfortable, then the time flies. But if you feel uncomfortable, then what happens? The community becomes very difficult for you. That's one of the things that you need to, okay, be aware. Okay? Now I give you 2 minutes. Okay? In these 2 minutes, share what you see. Share what you discover your partner, okay? And ask questions about your partner, okay? Using words, okay? Using words. But when you're asking questions, make sure pay attention on the eyes. Look at him, okay? Using your body gestures, okay? Yeah, because we're trying to creating a bonding. And I for sure, after these 2 minutes, you too will change. Okay? You too will become finding the bonding. Okay? Try to find the common sense, common. What us in common, right? And then try to find the difference. Okay? But don't focus on the difference, but focus on the. By the 3rd year in Venezuela, when we do church planting, we felt that we are so alone because there's only one missionary couple in the whole country that, for Chinese community. So then we asked the Lord that, send someone come over. So then God just moved a family from Bolivia, a mission family, to Venezuela. Then we partnered together for 4 years. That's how we work together. Because a family, wife and husband is one unit, and it is considered one. So if in a community at large, that my experience to creating a family sense of community, you need another family that, cohesively working together and then become a greater example to the whole country. But of course, sometimes missionary family can be dangerous. Okay? If the two family don't, go along, that becomes a disaster. So you got to make sure who is your partner, okay? Choose the right family. Don't get the wrong one. Otherwise, you will never build a good, healthy community in whatever. So that's one of the things that, when we go back, when I started back to China, the ministry that we are doing in China it is creating a comforting community. just like a teddy bear. They, keeps it in Chinese to say joy and peace. That's how we, So we do ministries in the earthquake area in the 2008. Since then, we just complete our 16 years work with them. And then along the way, just building a community of care, community of growing together. And then we just thank the Lord for the experience. That's just why I taught. And then just find one. Spend the time to build that connection in your family. And then church is the same. 2 families, 3 families. Then slowly builds on. Don't worry about, the big congregation. Sometimes the big congregation can be very, very easy to making a negative impact to the community, because you have to dealing with too many inter-conflict. So just be careful. And then Jesus doesn't judge you by the size. He only judges you by the harmony. Okay? If you not maintain the harmony or the peace, then every community you build, you will destroy it by yourself. May the Lord bless you. Is my session ends right here? Or is it overtime? 10:35. So what's the time frame? Because I just rushed in here. I didn't know that we have this workshop. Sorry about it. Perfect timing? Yeah. Okay. So I took your break, right? So may the God bless you. Okay. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? Time is short, so that's why otherwise I can do more.
I'm just curious, did the church support you when you went to Venezuela to serve?
Yes, my home church,
Okay.
which is they're so brave.
From China?
From Canada. Yeah, I was in Canada. So they sent us, and then we only have 80 people, sending an overseas couple.
Wow.
They are brave. They don't know the danger. So they don't even buy the life insurance for us or everything. They just send down, thou shalt go. And then we just left. So then we later on we fix all the policies, everything. Then we realized that there's a moving fee you can charge. Forget it. We're gone already. So yes, that's a good question. So the church was the beginning, supported us. So now it's multiple. Well, we have less church support us because the things that you're doing sometimes is a little different than the church that can understand. So, but mostly brothers and sisters and businessmen, yeah. So wherever God provides, so I'm doing fundraising. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, creating a community. And then Ian and I really, and then in the city of Vancouver, we try to creating community together. That, we call ourselves a church without a wall. So, which is, a collaboration more than just a congregation. Yeah, if a congregation, sometimes you have a lot of a policy. Yeah, the policy really cannot change people. Yeah, because it's a protection mode. But we want to discover. So then that way we go beyond. Yeah, that's a good question.
Next question is, where are you based now? Because you did mention about 16 years in China.
I really can tell you, this is my family base is in Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but my wife and I, in and out of China. Yes, and then now we're planning to base in China. Yeah, but sometimes we still try to discover what are the model in the modern world, because we are not national. Nationality is not China, even though I was born there, but I'm no longer. I give up my nationality. So, which is, we are not living like 17th, 18th centuries. The missionary go out and die there for. Yeah. So I'm not that type. So then I try to discover not that type. So, and then because of the cross culture, sometimes we really can cross culture. So that's a challenge. So then just last night I was with the Mandarin group. Then we tried to discover Apostle Paul was calling for what? Paul calling for who? See, we all call that, he is the apostle for Gentile. right? Ends right there, or there's some more? There's more, actually. Actually, he's the apostles for the kings, the rulers. That's what Jesus said, right? And then before Jews, right? Before the Jewish. See? But what we tends to be building community, forgetting the leaders. Building a community with the leader is the highest strategy for missionary. How can you do that? Every community, you hit the head of the snake, you win the whole crowd. How you do that? But we don't have that strategy. Do you know that? Mostly we just try to what? Even in the Bible school, what we learn is try to, right? Even the cross-culture training, we just try to reaching the easy group, what you call, the edge group, the borderline group. But we never hit the heart of the culture, the kings. That's what we do in China. Okay, God just leads the way all the way. It's through education. Like a snake. Nobody knows. So I like that, okay? So go under the table and random comes up, kill the head. So that's kind of, yeah. And that's just creating, so our community is just really, now we were planning to go into Beijing and then to planning the, to creating our base, that, to reaching the top government leaders, through education, to reaching their children, reaching their family, to do, some other things. So, and then you're most welcome in the coming days that, keep in contact, come to visit us. So then we might see in the King's table. Okay? It's fun. Okay, it really is fun. Because I didn't know that. Later I discovered I was grew up in a leader's high officials family. And then the language that we speak, the culture that we have is so different. Both of my parents are forensic science. Okay, my father was a judge, provincial court judge, and then my mother was the chief coroner of the nation. So that gave me the higher influence. I didn't know that. That was a benefit for gospel. I didn't know that too, okay? Until I become a Christian. So then I said, I'm going to serve the poor. Okay, that was my impression, learning from the Bible study, Bible school. And then later I discovered why God called me, why God made me that way. So then went back to China. Then that's how we related to the government official. And then they're so comfortable because the language that you speak and they speak, they know each other. So then we have the relationship with the higher official that God leads it to. And then, so-and-so you know. Oh, so-and-so you know. You know those things, right? So then that becomes, but you're different. You're different. But are they a difficult group? Actually, it's in the opposite. In a community, they are the school. Because they are the one that stabilize every community. A government, a city government, or a so-called a street compound government. They are the one really sits right here. But for us, we try to creating our own group. It becomes difficult. Yes?
Sir, quick announcement. By 11 o'clock, we'll go to our next session.
Oh, good. I still have 10 minutes. So, okay, thank you. Thank you for reminding. Okay, so it's fun. And I wish, with our prayers is creating a community environment for learning. That, for maybe after 21st century's mission work. So, I'm very inspired by the relationship that we have. So if you can come and then we can really share on the site. So, and then we do multiple way of things. So, may God bless you. Thank you.